5, 4. Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. And today we are doing something new. Yep, so we are planning a series where we review tech trees lines. And the first one we decided to do was the E50M because I am actually grinding it. And so here we go. Now, we didn't really want to review like the tier 1, the tier 2, the tier 3 because no one really cares about that. Now, the first unique tank that comes in the E50M line is the Leopard, the tier 5 light tank. And so we're going to review it. Alright, also, if you're wondering why these replays were kind of bad, the original idea was we were going to do some, like, me and Adrenaline, like, so, Shokolate, me, and Adrenaline, we were gonna do some silly replays, or just, like, silly Platoon gameplay. But we decided to do an extra series, and so, this is this. Adrenaline will be making an edited video with all our, like, funny and or fail moments, but this series will probably be more serious. Alright. Let's talk about it. What do we have here? Well, we have the Leopard one has great DPM. It's got great speed. It has trollish armor. You can get really weird bounces. It has very high magazine damage. It has decent aim time values, but poor dispersion. And yeah, it shows like 3 shots in a magazine, but that's actually false. It's actually 3 shots of 4 bursts, I believe, and so you shoot a total of 12 shots. 12 shots of, I think, 75 damage. So anyway, I'm pretty sure at the end it comes around to 300 damage. Alright, that was terrible. But some cons of it: it's got terrible penetration, like absolutely terrible. The problem with this thing is the standard penetration is 110 millimeters. Or sorry, no, it's 100. The premium penetration is 110. Now, to explain how bad that is, if you compare it to like the other German tier 5, the Panzer IV AUSFG, that's the tier 5 medium. Well, it has 110 millimeters of penetration on its AP, but when you go to its APCR, it's 158. Compared to the Leopard's 116 on its APCR while running calibrated. So the penetration is absolutely terrible, and even worse because it fires in bursts, right? So you fire 12 shots in an entire magazine. Each shell costs 800 credits. So when you fire 12 shots at 800 credits, you basically lose 9,600 credits per full magazine of APCR. So against tier 6s, you will really struggle to pen. Like, as you'll see in these replays, I'll look at like the SU-100Y, and he's slightly angled, just slightly angled, and he's red all over, which is absolutely insane. And then like what you'll see a lot when you play the Leopard is you'll bounce off other Leopards, and other Leopards will bounce off you just because the penetration is so bad, and all the little angles on the Leopard will just bounce shots like crazy. So yeah, I mean, even though it sounds more like a bad tank than a good tank, especially with that terrible penetration and pretty much no armor versus tier 6s, it's still a really fun tank. It's a seal clubbing tank, and it's a keeper, you know? This is one of those tanks you just want to keep in the garage, and whenever you're kind of bored or you just want to have some fun, you're just going to bring it out and play it. You know, just run around. This thing's for hit and run. This thing's great for hit and run, you know? That magazine, around 300 damage pretty much. You just run with your 60 km/h speed, you go through, you unload your clip, and you just go, and it's fun because no other tier 5s have that same capability, you know? Like, you have the AMX ELC BIS, but that thing doesn't have a turret that can turn all the way, and it has poor DPM compared to this. This thing, especially in platoons, like, this thing can shred. When you have like 2 Leopards and you can do like pretty much 600 damage together, you can clear a lot of tier 5 tanks, or nearly clear them, and you can clear pretty much every tier 4. So it's really fun, honestly. However, the gun depression is a big problem. When you look at the gun depression on paper, it says 20 degrees elevation and 10 depression, but that's actually incorrect, because when you shoot it from the front, I think it only has, what, maybe 5, maybe 4 degrees of gun depression max, and when you turn the turret around and you're facing backwards, you might only have 2 degrees. Like, I cannot count the amount of times where I have tried to run away in a Leopard, and then I'm shooting at someone, but I miss all my shots because I go over the tiniest bump, and boom, all your shots just spray everywhere. However, the only way you can get the gun depression is aiming over the sides, so just straight over the sides. Like you'll see in this battle in Faust, we're gonna go to the corner, me and Adrenaline, and we're just gonna have to aim over the side. Otherwise, you can't do anything over the front. So it's something you gotta get used to, honestly. Many tanks, you don't get extra gun depression looking over the side, just for whatever reason. But this one's not like that. If you just saw there, that VK2801 passed through, and the frontal plate was very red. Here I'm an idiot. I tried to ram. It was for the lols. It was for the memes. But yeah. It was very red, and here we have another Leopard, and see, he's trying to do the same thing, you know. He goes up that little high part and turns sideways to try and use his gun depression. And see here, even though I'm scoped him, I am actually angled to the side. Again, you can get those troll bounces. That WZ-131 GFT, the Chinese tier 6 tank destroyer, he bounced me. Granted, it was probably off my turret, but it's still a bit of a bounce. And then here the gun depression kind of comes into play again. And look, I just bounced that shot off the Leopard because, yeah, troll. Again, I find that this tank's tracks are also kind of weak. As you see, I got tracked a lot in these past few replays. I'm not entirely sure why, but it seems that this tank's tracks are very weak. Overall, though, it's a really fun tank to play if you can play it within a platoon, you know? Just run around and have fun. And because we're talking about grinding tech tree lines, you want to know, like, is this a good line to grind E50M? Well, it is. E50M is a great medium tank. And while you're grinding this tier 5 Leopard, getting up to the tier 6, you're going to have lots of fun. Like, lots. It's going to be enjoyable. Granted, the stock version isn't as fast, but it's still very fast. The stock gun is terrible, just a heads up. But once you get the top gun, you don't even need the top engine at first, because it's still very fast. But once you get the top gun, the top engine, the top tracks, all the good stuff, then this thing is really good. Really fun to play anyway. Alright, so that's that. In our next video, or next episode I should say, we are going to be talking about the VK3001D, the next medium that goes to the E50M. If you like this video, leave a like button. If you dislike the video, please still leave a like. Leave your comments down below, any advice, tips, stuff you want to say. Alright, thank you, and we'll see you in the next one.